Dr. Sherry. I am your multi-entrepreneur where I'm here to teach you about real estate, about business, about credit, and about life. And today, I am going to teach you the top 5 areas you need to know if you're trying to pass the real estate exam. All right, I'll be back right after our intro. Hi. So, for those that are joining me for the first time, I am so excited. This is my first class that I am doing to try to get you guys to understand the components of the real estate exam. So, for those who don't know, I've been doing real estate since 2001. My principal got me into real estate. Yes, he did. My principal. I used to be a public school teacher, and he was like, Sherry, you have the personality to do this. You have the right personality to do real estate. So, I was teaching and I was doing real estate at the same time, and I loved both of them. But time came that I had to make a decision, and I decided to go into real estate full time and open up my own school. So I am just so excited about this YouTube journey now and to come before you and to kind of teach you the ropes of what I've been teaching all of my students. I had a student that emailed me, that texted me this morning. She was like, I passed, and I passed on the first try. So I've been doing it for so many people. So now it's time to bring this to the YouTube world. And now let me do it for you. So I'm going to give you some tips today to help you get organized before you even take the test. Okay. I'm going to give you some strategies that you need to put in place that will, again, put you in the realm of being successful. See, the problem is we study, but you're not studying the right thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you tips today to help you get your studying tools in order and make sure you're studying the right thing so you can be successful. Listen, on the first try. Okay. We don't want to give all those fees to the real estate commissions. All right. So let's just get started in trying to understand, what do I have to do to pass this test on the first time? And this is the thing. It doesn't matter what state you're in. Okay. It doesn't matter what state you're in, even if you're in Florida or California. Now, we know those two tests are the hardest to test out of the entire nation. Okay. I have done the Florida. Well, I didn't have to do the full Florida exam because Florida has something called mutual recognition. We'll talk about that another time. But I did have to take 8 tests in Florida, and I'm a real estate instructor for Florida. And that's another thing I forgot to tell you. I'm a real estate instructor in Georgia, Florida, and Alabama. Okay. And I have done the licensing for Georgia, Florida, Alabama, California, and I have a partnership in Dubai. All right. So I know where it comes to real estate, and I know what happens when it comes to these tests, and I know how to position you for greatness. All right. So first, the school is Tri-State Real Estate School. Let me go ahead and give you that email of that address now, that website address right now before I even forget. Okay, it's www.treschool.com. And you know what? Let me just put a banner in right quick to kind of get that going. I forgot to do my banner, but that's okay. We are here. Give me 1 second. I'm going to put this banner in. And then we're going to get going. Make sure I got everything spelled right. I am a teacher, right? Okay. All right. I think we got everything going now. Let's put this banner in. All right. Let's save that one and let's roll that one. Let's see if this one will come forth. Let me hide this one, bring this one. Are we good? Okay. All right. So let's go with that one. And then we'll let me see, why isn't that one scrolling? Well, that one's not scrolling. That's okay. We'll put that one up from time to time. In the meantime, I'll scroll that one, and then we'll keep moving. All right. So the top 5 areas you need to concern yourself with. Well, the first thing you need to do is to make sure that you get the candidate information booklet for your state. Okay? The candidate information booklet for your state. Every state has a candidate information booklet, and it comes from your real estate commission. That's the first thing I need you to do. When you get your candidate information booklet, inside of that booklet, you'll see information as regards to your state test and in regards to your national test. Okay. Both portions are very, very important. Now, where it comes to Florida and California, Florida doesn't have a separation in their test. There's not like a state test and a national portion. It's all one. Same over in California. California is the hardest real estate exam you will take out of the entire nation. And they have no math. Can you believe that? No math. I mean, like, my goodness, it's no math. No math. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to talk about that candidate information booklet. So in the candidate information booklet, there's going to be a part in there that's going to have how many questions is in each topic area. That's what you need to hone in on. You need to understand how many questions are in each topic area. Now, for those states that have a state portion, your state portion is always going to be number one. So, for example, if you're taking your state in Georgia, Georgia has 52 questions out of a test that's, I think it's 109 questions, okay? 52 of them are going to be on the state portion. You need to know the state portion like the back of your hand. You need to understand what is the going studying textbook out of your state. And that's the one you need to hone in on, because this is the thing. If you go to all of the answers are on your real estate commission website. All of the answers are there because the test is about that, right? But how it's written is a little bit confusing. That's why I want you to get that candidate information booklet. All right. If you get the candidate information booklet, it's going to break down the areas. And in some states, it even gives you like a little practice test. Look for the textbook. Look for the book that everybody is studying out of and everybody is finding to be successful in understanding. So you can now get an understanding of the different sections, first of all, for your state. That's so important. For your state, okay? So once you conquer that state information, you know how many questions are going to be on the state portion, which is going to be the most. Remember, if you're coming out of Florida or California, they all mix it together, but there's still state-specific information you need to know about. That's going to be the greater portion of your test. Now, I don't care where you are. I'm moving to the national portion, even if you're in Florida or California. Contracts. Contracts is the biggest area. Why? Because what we do deals with contracts. You have to understand contracts. I can't stress that enough. Everything about contracts, right? What are the components of a contract? Okay. What are the classifications of a contract? How is a contract written? What is your statute of frauds and statute of limitations in regards to a contract out of your state, right? In a contract, this is where you'll understand the words of valid, void, voidable, unenforceable. This is where all of that will come in. You have to listen. I want you to eat, sleep, and drink your state portion. Eat, sleep, and drink the contracts portion, because the majority of your tests will come from those two sections. You see, you got to know how to study. Sometimes everybody puts a lot of emphasis on math, and they're putting it on the wrong thing, because a lot of times math is such a very, very small portion of the test. Now, I'm not saying not to learn the math, but I'm saying be very strategic in learning the math, and I can teach you that as well. Okay. All right. So let's keep going. So we got your state portion, and I've already given you the tools to understand that. We have your contracts portion, which is huge. Okay. The next part is agency. Now, let me give you an understanding of what agency is. Agency is the relationship we have with our client or our customer, or another word for it in some states would be our principal, considering what kind of agreement you have with them. It's the relationship. It's I don't have a relationship with you, which is a no brokerage relationship, and I can still get a commission. You need to understand that. I am a transaction broker, which is in some states. That means that I have a little relationship with you. I have some loyalty to you, but I'm kind of staying in the middle, where my relationship is with you. Some things I'm going to do, some things I'm not required to do. All right. And then single agency, which means that I do everything for you. I have a list of duties that I do for you. You need to understand those relationships as it applies to your state. Okay. Because that's so important, that agency relationship. And in that agency relationship, we have other layers of this, as far as, am I able to contract with you or not? Okay, considering the relationship that we have. In some states, they have different kind of agencies as far as in a commercial relationship. In some areas, it's called a designated agency relationship. So you need to understand that whole premise on agency. That's a big portion of your test. Okay, another big chunk of your test. So now we got your state portion, which is huge, huge, huge. Okay, we have the contracts, which is huge, huge. Okay, and now we have agency, which is a big part of your test. All right, so now let me look at my cheat sheet so I can understand where I'm going next. The practice of real estate. Okay, now we're talking about these everyday duties I'm responsible for. Can I have a licensed assistant? Can I have an unlicensed assistant? If I can, what can they do? What can't they do? Right? What does my broker say I need to do? Okay, these are where your antitrust laws will come in. All of this comes in the practice of real estate. What are my state laws? You have to understand all of that piece. This is how we practice real estate, what we do, what are the services that we do as a real estate agent? What am I responsible for doing? What can I do? Right? Some agents don't even realize that we can appraise properties. Did you know that? Yes, you can appraise properties, but you have to follow the USPAP guidelines, which are guidelines that appraisers use. So all of this context we have to learn on what are our everyday duties. What are we responsible for doing? Advertising is a big piece. How we practice real estate. So let me start over again. What are your main areas? Give me number one. I can hear you. Right. You're going to go get that candidate information booklet from your real estate commission. That's going to give you the breakdown of the questions. Your state portion is the first area that you're going to take control over. Next is what? Yes, two is contracts. I know y'all like, Sherry is so silly, and I am. Two is contracts. What is three? I heard you, agency. Yes, agency. And the fourth is the practice of real estate. All right, now the last area, drum roll, please. Last area is financing. Financing. Okay, so now I'm going to put my other banner back up. Okay, we're going to put this one back up because this is an area that I see a lot of weakness, even though I see a lot of weakness in contracts too, because a lot of students, it's not that the information is hard with contracts, it's just a lot of students don't take that part seriously, right? And you don't understand the weight that it has on the test, okay? But financing, and here I'm not even talking about real estate problems, okay? Math problems. I'm talking about understand the financing if somebody's wanting to get a house and they need to get a loan. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. You need to understand that part. If somebody is wanting to get a house, what steps must they go through, right? And if they aren't buying in the house for cash, what steps must they go to? How do they qualify for financing? Now we know with financing, this is where we bring in, I call them the Fanny. I call them the family. I call them the family, which is Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and Jeannie Mae. All of that information is in the financing. This is where we have the financing loans. This is where we have the FHA loan, right? This is where we have the VA loan. This is where we talk about the conventional loans. These are the different loan breakdowns. This is where we talk about the total obligation ratio, right? And the tour and the her. This is where we talk about all of that in there, right? This is where we talk about the TILA. Okay, some of this coming back to you now. So that's in your financing piece. That's another area you need to learn. Now, the next secret to this is that the other areas that I did not mention, yes, they're going to give you some points, but not as many points as those top 5 areas. So if you get those top five areas, will you pass? I can almost guarantee you will pass and not have to do a lick of math. And so when you hear people say you can pass the test and not pass any math problems, that's what they're talking about. But to layer it on even more, learn a couple math problems. If you don't want to tackle the real hard ones, that's fine. But one that you need to tackle is discount points. And I teach that very, very well. So TriStateRealEstateSchool.com, TSRESchool.com. Check me out, okay? I do private tutoring too, even if you just want me to teach you discount points, because you can guarantee that will be on the test, okay? All right, you guys, I'm going to end that here. As you can see, the bell has rung, but you know how to reach out to me. Remember, the top 5 areas, the top 5 topics in passing that real estate test on the what? The first time. Join me back and go to my playlist. I have some lessons there, and I'm going to keep building them as we go along. All right. Until next time. Bye.